All right, good morning, traders. What's today? Today's the day after Juneteenth. Love it. All right, this is nice day off yesterday, June 20th, 2025. My name is John Carignan. I'm the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Hey, thank you everybody in podcast land, digital land, cyber land. Special shout out to Bob Jordan. Thank you. He's been with me for a long time. Thank you for all of the kind comments, Bob. I love that. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. So special shout out to all my people out there in Cyberland. Thank you for following my content, liking my content, leaving kind comments. That helps inspire me to keep doing more. Thank you so much. All right. Let's go ahead and get down to business here. Let's see what we got going on. Okay, I got some things I want to talk about. All right, open house in the HRC room. That's the hit and run candlesticks room. That's the trading room, okay? It's going to be open house on Tuesday, June 24th from 8:45 to 4:15, okay? It's free. It's no charge. You just got to register. I will leave a registration link inside the description of the video, okay? No charge, all right? And all you got to do is register, and they will email you the credentials and the map on how to get into the room so you can join Rick and all of the members there at HRC for this trading day. You get to see a professional do some swing trading and talk about some strategies that he's using. All right, so that's Tuesday, June 24th. Okay, so you're gonna go through the weekend, then we're gonna trade on Monday, and then open house is on Tuesday, June 24th. All right, and let's talk about what else do I have to talk about? Let's talk about the consolidation pattern. All right, before we get started. So where are we in the consolidation pattern? I said probably when we got up to here, which we never thought we'd get up here, but we did rally. So the rally came all the way up to here, and then we consolidated. And I said after this breaks out, and I said good chance it's going to break out. I think we're going to consolidate over prior consolidation, and here we are now. So let's take a look at the arrows and take that off. Get some of those gold arrows out here. So we've gone through all of this, and I believe we've hit bottom. All right, and I think we're here right now. Okay, now it may want to double bottom. In other words, test the bottom one more time and then go up. I don't think so, but it may happen today, okay? We have, if you look at Max Payne, we got 2 3/4 puts for each call. I think there's definitely a put squeeze on the table if you look at SPY Max Payne. I think they're just going to continue to apply the pressure and bring us all the way up to maybe right about there, okay? So we'll see. All right, I'm just saying that I believe we hit bottom, but they may want to double bottom it just to make sure, and then apply the pressure. If they do it, it's going to be fast. That's what I believe, okay? And then again, they may just come out of the gate with nice green candles, really nice green candles, and start applying pressure to all of the puts that are in the open interest that expire today, okay? Yeah, OpEx today. We got open interest today, so there's, like I said, there's 2 3/4 puts for each call. That will be a nice cash cow as long as they don't give those puts a way out. So if they keep constant pressure, could see a trend day today, all right? If they keep that constant pressure from the beginning of the day until 2:30, okay, there's a good chance you get a put squeeze all the way up till 2:30, and maybe even then some right into the close. We'll see. Okay, so I don't think we're going to double bottom, but I just want to put it out there. It's on the table. Okay, so if you look at the ES futures in the nighttime, we came down to about 591. All right, so you can see we've already come down here, and we're on our way back. As you can see, I think we're at 596. Yeah, 596 right now, and still rallying higher. So we'll see what happens. I think there's a put squeeze, and I think they're just going to apply the pressure all the way to the end of the day, at least till probably 2:30. All right, so we'll see what happens. Okay, but that's where we are with the consolidation map now. All right, I'm looking to get up about 605. We may hit 604. We may hit 606. It might be 607. We might even go up to 610 and then pull back to 605 and then rip higher. I don't know what we're going to do, okay? But I just want to lay that scenario on the table in case that's what happens, all right? So we're looking for, again, more gold arrows, looking for to get up to 604, 605, and then I'm looking for like a little pullback. Now, it may pull all the way back down here and put in another V before doing the rally up, half back, and then rip, okay? So right now we're on the process of completing the W pattern, okay? And usually on every W pattern there's a battle right at the apex of the peak that's between the two valleys. So here's a valley. Here's another valley, and that's the peak between the two valleys. So usually when price gets back up there, there's a battle that takes place right about here. And then the winner of the battle usually decides the future. So we could see a battle up here. I don't know if it's going to happen today. I don't know if we get all the way to 605 today. That would be nice. Let's see, we're at 596 now. That would take us, wow, like $9. A $9 move during market hours, that would be huge. I would love that. I would welcome that. I don't think that's going to happen, but I do think we'd probably get up to 600. I think there's a good chance we get up to 600, 601. All right, I think that's definitely on the table with the put squeeze. But we'll see what happens, okay? So like I said, we could get up to 603, 604, 605, and then put in another V or put in a battle. All right, eventually there's going to be a battle up here, and then the winner will decide the future, whether we're going to do a half back and then a rip, or if we're just going to get crushed all the way back down to here. We'll see what happens, okay? So there's my consolidation map. Now you can see from way back here, this thing has just really been tracking almost perfectly here. Got an extra V right in here. Didn't expect that, but sometimes those have to be accounted for. Okay, and then we got a half back rip. Now we're up here. We've gone through all of this so far, and I believe today there's a possibility for a double bottom, but I don't think so, because I think they want that. I think they want that money, that put money, and do the short squeeze. That's going to force them to cover. That's going to provide even more momentum to the upside. So we'll see what happens. So there's the consolidation map. Take a picture of it if you want. Stop the video. Take a photo. And let's go ahead and drill down and let's talk about the market. Let me get all this out of there. Take this out of the way and move that. Okay, don't forget, open house. June 24th, all right? That's this month. It's in like 4 or 5 days. 4 days. Today's 20th. Happens on the 24th. All right, and let's start with SPY. Oh, by the way, I like Intel. All right, I like Intel. I can see Intel going up to 22.75 here. Okay, not saying it's going to get there today, but I like Intel. All right, Intel's looking good. Let's see what we've got. Let's take a look at SPY. All right. Just going to run through this real quick, and let's take the pre-market off. All right. Put the 10-minute on. So you can see on the 10-minute chart right here, this is Wednesday's close because we were off Thursday. All right, so on Wednesday's close, you can see the yellow 3 EMA is underneath the white 8 EMA, so that makes it a bearish trap. All right, so we had a 10-minute downtrend coming into the close. Okay, a lot of whipsaw going on there at the last hour. So 10-minute downtrend coming into the close on Wednesday. 2-hour chart. Okay, again, kind of the same deal, not the whipsaw, but you got yellow 3 EMAs underneath the 8. So 2-hour downtrend coming into the close on on Wednesday. Okay, let's take a look at the daily chart. Daily candles show a lower high and a lower low, closing underneath the bearish cross, all right, or the trap, okay, but closing over the rising 17 right there. Okay, so over the rising 17. Okay, so still up in quadrant 4. We still have consolidation over prior consolidation. Okay, so here's some consolidation right through there. And you can see we still have consolidation over prior consolidation. That's a bullish environment right there. Consolidation over prior consolidation. We still have price moves up and holds the higher ground. Okay, that's a bullish environment. So price moves up, and then we got a bull flag over to the right, holding the higher ground. That's a bullish environment right there. All right, we got price up in quadrant 4. That's bullish. Let's take a look at the all-time high right here. Okay, we're up over that all-time high anchored VWAP. That's bullish. We're up in quadrant 4. That's bullish. We got higher lows and higher highs. That's an uptrend. That's always bullish. Okay, those are the all-time highs. We are within striking distance of those all-time highs, which are 613 and some change. Okay, so we're right up there. Everything's looking good. We're showing bullish behavior. We're showing a bullish environment. We're just cooling off. I think we're waiting. I think we're waiting on some trade deals to get finalized. Okay, I think that's what we're waiting for. I think Mr. Powell's waiting on trade deals to get finalized. I think the whole FOMC is waiting on trade deals to get finalized. Okay, geopolitical tensions are not helping. Okay, but I think we're waiting on trade deals to get finalized, and then I think we're going to get a nice rip to the upside. I don't know where it's going to stop, but I know it's probably going to be a really nice rip, probably take out the all-time highs. Okay, so on that note, I have some near future calls. Okay, I've got some 56 days till expiration calls. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I see some near future pop in the near future. I got some 41 DTE calls. I got some 35 DTE calls, some 28 DTE calls, some 21 DTE calls, days till expiration. I got some 13 days till expiration, some 10, some 7s, and I got some 0s right there. Okay, so we'll see what happens, but I think we're probably one headline away from making a new all-time high. All right, as soon as we get those trade deals finalized and signed, I think you could see price really pop, maybe up to 620, 650. Who knows? Maybe even 670. We'll see. All right, but I can see that happening, and because of that, I just want to be prepared. All right, like a Boy Scout, you kind of want to be prepared for when that happens, so that you can capitalize on that pop. All right, I think it's close. I don't know how close it is, but I'm just speculating here. I think it's close. All right, so we'll see. Again, I saw consolidation. All right, and then I said I foresee, consolidation over prior consolidation occurring right now, which is what we got. Okay, and I think we're waiting on that. Okay, because the market doesn't like uncertainty, but this kind of uncertainty is looking good. All right, because when we get that done, I think the future's really bright for SPY. Okay, we'll see what happens. All right, we'll see what happens. Daily uptrend. Okay, nice work. We are in a bullish environment. 2 days still in a downtrend, and that's not moving down. I mean, this is the low. That would be the low to take out. All right, got to take out this low in order to make a lower low. You can see price is definitely up here. It's not moving down. So it's just a label. All right. They have to take out the all-time high to negate the downtrend status or label. All right. 3-day chart, same deal. They have to take out the all-time high. Weekly chart, same thing. They got to take out the all-time high in order to negate. But if you look, the 3-day and the 2-day, all right, they're not moving down. They're all moving up, okay? All right, and then the monthly never even got in a downtrend because it would have to take out this low right here to produce a lower low. All right, so they had a pullback, but they didn't make a lower low. So the monthly's still in an uptrend here. As you can see, we still got green 17 EMA indicators right there. So price action's up there. And I think what happens on the bottom side will happen on the top side. So I foresee a possible pop up to 670. We'll see what happens, all right? I'm dreaming, and I like to dream. But I believe we're going to get there, all right? We'll see what happens. All right, so there's SPY. So what do I like? I like a 10-minute uptrend over VWAP, all right? Make a lot of money trading those 10-minute uptrends over VWAP, especially when they peel away from VWAP. Okay, whenever I get price to peel away. So Wednesday, see this 10-minute uptrend peeling away. Here's VWAP. Is this brown line? It's very difficult to see because it's right here. It's a brown line. Okay, that 10-minute uptrend peeling away from VWAP. That's where money can be made. When price crisscrosses on VWAP, there's no money to be made there, okay? All the money that profits, the easy profits, okay? I'm not saying there's no money to be made here. I'm saying there's no easy money, all right? Here's the easy money. I don't want to work hard. I want the easy stuff, okay? So here's the easy money when you see that 10-minute trend peel away from VWAP, which I'm kind of expecting today, but not quite in this manner, more of a consistent melting up for today. We'll see. All right, so I like those 10-minute uptrends over VWAP, and that's how we made money yesterday, was trading this and the 10-minute downtrend under VWAP right there. So there's SPY. But what do I like? I like a 10-minute uptrend over VWAP, all right? Inside a 2-hour uptrend that's inside a daily uptrend that's inside a weekly uptrend, or let me make sure I got this right, or weekly candles that are moving up. We don't have a weekly uptrend, but let me just say the trend indicator balls are green on that weekly chart, and they're not moving down, and they are moving up, okay? So inside of a weekly uptrend or weekly candles that are moving up, okay? That's inside of a daily a monthly uptrend, okay? And then you get all of that, okay? And it's over the all-time high anchored VWAP, okay? So that's a recipe for success. Okay, right there. Because as 10-minute uptrends, they're going to go further. You're going to have a higher win rate on those. You're going to find it easier to make profits. And those 10-minute downtrends, they're going to fail more often because they'll counter trend. So that's what I like. 10-minute uptrend over VWAP inside of a 2-hour uptrend, inside of a daily uptrend, inside of weekly candles moving up. I'll just say it like that. Inside of a monthly uptrend over the all-time high anchored VWAP. All right, so let's pick up the daily chart and see what we got. Okay, so we got a monthly uptrend. We're over the all-time high anchored VWAP here. Okay, we got the weekly candles moving up. We got that. So we got check mark on the monthly, check mark on the weekly. Daily is in an uptrend. We're up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. We're consolidating up there. 2 hours not in an uptrend. Okay, but all it would take is a nice little rally to flip that thing around. Once we get back up over 600, you're going to have a 2-hour uptrend. And I really foresee a melting up process today. We'll see what happens. Does that say 597? I think that's a prior number. All right. So anyways, that's what I like. The 10-minute uptrend over VWAP inside the 2-hour uptrend. That's inside the daily uptrend. That's inside the weekly uptrend or weekly candles moving up. That's inside the monthly uptrend, all over the all-time high anchored VWAP. All right, that's what I like. I like that. That's a recipe for success. Let's take a look at the game plan for today. And let's slide this over. All right. It's buy pivot for today. Hopefully don't move things around on me. 598.70. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. Okay. We got a green erases red entry over 645. It's the first green erases red entry. Okay. I like 7 days till expiration Friday options, as that's next Friday. I like them on the multiples of 5. I like 14 days till expiration Friday options, again on the multiples of 5. I like $15 to $5 strikes out of the money, all right, because they're going to offer a little bit less risk, and you're not going to get the best performance. You want the best performing option. It's going to be the in the money, 0 DTE, okay? Completely volatile, all right? And you are subject to the market moves, okay? So you can see there's a big candle right there. That's 599 down to 596. If you've got 10 contracts and you're on the wrong side of a $3 move, all right, that's $3,000. If you have an in the money option, all right, if you have in the money options that are 0 DTE, okay, it's probably a $3,000 move against you. Okay, so if you got a 25K account, that can hurt. All right, that can send you into margin call, or what do they call it? Pattern day trader. You get flagged. You're all going to get flagged for pattern day trading if you trade in and out as much as you do throughout the day. Okay, so that's the game plan. All right. Again, we like 7 days till expiration and 14 days till expiration. Friday options on the multiple of 5 to $15 strikes out of the money. Okay, now I'm not against playing 10-minute downtrends under VWAP that are breaking away from VWAP. Okay, if I get a 10-minute downtrend and it just happens to occur up here before the red erases green entry, oftentimes I will trade that 10-minute downtrend under VWAP. Same with these 10-minute uptrends. If I get a 10-minute uptrend that occurs under VWAP, under the green erases red entry, okay, I will trade that 10-minute uptrend as long as it's over VWAP. All right, so I'm looking at 10-minute uptrends. All right, I do have a green erases red entry. Not saying we don't get there, but I'm just saying if we have a 10-minute uptrend that occurs down here around, let's say the put squeeze does happen today. All right, well, and maybe it's probably going to originate maybe around 597. And if we get that 10-minute uptrend going over VWAP, I will definitely probably want to be in that for that put squeeze. It takes to snatch some quick profits, all right? So that's the game plan for SPY. Let's take a look at QQQ. QQQ's got the same plan, all right? We want the same options, okay? I want 7 or 14 days till expiration, Friday options, all right? That are strike prices on the multiple of 5. I like $5 to $15 strikes out of the money, all right? For the same reasons as SPY. I like 10-minute uptrends over VWAP. I like 10-minute downtrends under VWAP. The QQQ pivot is 530.10. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. They move this on me again. I don't know why they do this every day. $528.15. Okay, so red erases green. Right here underneath 528.15. Okay, green erases red over 531.40. Okay, that's our QQQ game plan. Okay, you can see there's the high anchored VWAP. I would be looking at that as a target today for SPY and QQQ. The rally high anchored VWAP, or this 16th, whatever happened, that high on the 16th, that high anchored VWAP from the 16th. Either one will work. You can see they both map out in the same location right here around 340, 531.40. Okay, so the rally high anchored VWAP, that's a good place to put the anchored VWAP right there on the rally high. Okay, you can either use the 16th, all right, which is a little bit lower but more recent, or you can use the 11th, all right, high of day on the 11th or high of day on the 16th. Okay, so there's QQQ. All right, let's take a look at it on the daily chart, and we'll take a look at it right here. Again, just like SPY, okay, I like 10-minute uptrends over VWAP, inside of 2-hour uptrends, inside of daily uptrends, inside of weekly uptrends, inside of a monthly uptrend, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. I like those. I think that's a perfect recipe, a perfect stack to make some good money whenever you get that opportunity. Okay, that's a lot of easy money to be made there. Easy money. All right. So there's QQQ. Again, yesterday lower high, lower low, closing under the trap, but over the 17. So under the trap's kind of bearish. Over the 17 is bullish. Over the uptrend line is bullish. Up in quadrant 4 is bullish. Consolidating over prior consolidation is bullish. Moving up, holding the higher ground is bullish. Up in quadrant 4 is bullish. Making higher lows and higher highs is an uptrend. That's always bullish. Again, up in quadrant 4, looking fantastic. Holding that higher ground, ever so close to that all-time high right there. So there's QQQ, all right? That's bullish. I'm bullish, all right? We may be moving down, but I'm still bullish up here in quadrant 4, all right? For all of those up there in quadrant 4, still bullish, all right? QQQ, FNGB. Again, holding the higher ground. Again, consolidating over prior consolidation, okay? Look at that nice hold up there. It takes energy to do that, okay? Over the all-time high anchored VWAP, quadrant 4, uptrend, over the uptrend line. Okay, all of that is bullish. Okay, FNGB, all bullish. Okay, we watch the FNGB because it's got 10 of the most heavily weighted securities inside QQQ and SPY. Okay, when those 10 move as a pack, let me just say that they can rip the index in their direction, all right, regardless of what the other 490 securities are doing in SPY, regardless of what the other 90 securities are doing in the NASDAQ 100, okay? When those 10 move as a pack, they can pull price right along with it for the index, the SPY and the QQQ. So because those 10 have such a high influence over those two indexes, I need to keep an eye on this FNGB because that's got the capability of moving that index. All right, so I got to keep an eye on what's going on there. Okay, so there's FNGB, that's bullish. Okay, all of that is bullish. Look at that hold on the higher ground. Again, candle, lower high, lower low, closing under a bullish trap, but over the 17, that's a bullish. Over the 17, under the trap is bearish. Okay, that's FNGB. Take a look at IWM. IWM got an outside day. It's a higher high, lower low, closing inside, under bearish trap, but over the 17. Okay, so under the trap is bearish, over the 17 is bullish, over the all-time high anchored VWAP is bullish. Up here in neutral land, again, you've got consolidation over prior consolidation. That's always bullish. Okay, consolidation over prior consolidation. Okay, that's all bullish up there. Okay, you got price structure is moving up and holding the higher ground. That's always bullish. You see price moves up and holds that higher ground through there. That's bullish. Okay, price moves up, holds the higher ground. So they're making a valid attack on that all-time high anchored VWAP right now. Okay, they're dealing with that. So there's IWM. That is bullish. We're making higher lows and higher highs. We're in an uptrend. That's always bullish. Okay, so we're just kind of in neutral land right now. Okay, not quite in the bullish territory. We are acting bullish, just not in the bullish territory, which would be the upper third. Okay, and we're not in the bearish territory, which would be the lower third. So just kind of neutral through here. It's doing and displaying and behaving in a bullish nature right now because it's consolidating and holding that higher ground. Always look for that. Whenever you see price structure move up, hold the higher ground, that's bullish. You'll see it oftentimes move up and give it up. That's just neutral. Okay, but when you can get it to move up and hold that higher ground, that's bullish. Okay, it's incredibly bullish when you see that. And that's what you got going on here, holding the higher ground. Okay, that's bullish. All of that's bullish right there. Okay, just not up in the bullish zone yet, but making their way up there. There's IWM. Okay, let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Look at this, up and over to the right. Same thing. It's the same thing, moving up and over to the right. That's bullish. Okay, you'll see, and we go look at some other charts, you'll see price goes up and then gives it up. All right, that's just neutral. Okay, look at price. Price goes down and gives it up. That's neutral. That's not bearish, that's just neutral. Okay, when you see price move up, give it up and more, that's bearish. Okay, so there we are. Price moving up, holding the higher ground. Let's take a look at what kind of candle we got for Wednesday. I'm losing my voice again. Nice. Lower high, lower low, closing underneath the bearish trap. That's bearish. Closing underneath the 17. Also bearish. Closing underneath the uptrend line. Also bearish. Closing over the all-time high anchored VWAP is incredibly bullish. Moving up and holding the higher ground is incredibly bullish. In the upper third is bullish, okay? In an uptrend, higher lows, higher highs. We haven't made any lower lows yet, so we're still bullish on Diamond Dow, okay? In the upper third, that's bullish. Excuse me. Take a look at our technicals. T21.22. A lot of zigzagging going around. We popped up out of the sell zone into the buyer's chop zone. Did we make a higher? We made a higher high up there. That's a turnaround happening. There's a high. We made a higher high than the day before. That's a turnaround happening. And it looks like we made a a higher low also. So we got a low here. We made a higher low. We'll see where we head off today. I think we're up here in the buyer's chop zone today. We'll see what happens. We'll look at it later on in the day. Okay, I think we finally make our way back into the buy zone. Maybe near end of day. We'll see what happens. That's T21.22. All right, T21.22. All right, let's take a look at T21.23. Again, price structure moving up, holding that higher ground. Anytime you're up over the 200 SMA, that's bullish. Right now, we find ourselves slightly underneath it. Okay, so that's not bearish, but it's no longer as bullish as we liked it when it was up above. Let's look at it. We're still up, holding that higher ground. You still got a lot of bullish gaps that haven't been filled. You got one here and here and here, so that's all bullish. Okay, again, up over and holding that higher ground, that's bullish. Up over a prior all-time high, not the all-time high, but up over a prior all-time high, that's bullish. And you can see price action, all right, has come up from down here, making up and over and up and over. Okay, that's a bullish environment. Up, hold over to the right, hold that higher ground, make another breakout, go over to the right, hold that higher ground. That's a bullish environment right now. Probably have a little 15-minute downtrend happening. Take a peek at it. Did we make lower lows? All right, so here's a low, and you can see we made a lower low. So we got a little 15-minute downtrend on the 15-minute chart. On the 3-bar chart, okay, we've got uptrend going on, okay, because we got a high here, and that was the last high, that green dot right there. So we're making higher highs. We have not made any lower lows. The first low you come to under the 17 is way down here. I don't see that happening unless World War III breaks out, but right now we're still in an uptrend on the 3-bar chart. Again, price structure, look at that big bullish gap. Hasn't been filled for weeks, okay? Up over the 200 SMA, that's bullish. Up over the prior all-time high, that's bullish, okay? Making higher lows and making higher highs, hasn't made any higher lows. Making higher highs, okay, that's bullish, all right? Price action holding the higher ground, also bullish. T21.23, 3-bar, still bullish, still in an uptrend, okay? Daily chart, not quite in an uptrend yet. They got to take out this high, okay? So that's from back in February, okay? If they take out that high, they will negate the downtrend status, okay? Here's the good news. They're in a downtrend on the daily, but let's face it, price action or data is moving up and not down, okay? So that's T21.23 daily chart. Back to the 3-bar, this is bullish and in an uptrend. Daily chart is bullish, but still in a downtrend. Okay, FNGB, price action moving up, holding the higher ground. Look at this. This is awesome. Okay, see this? Get consolidation. And when we have consolidation over prior consolidation, it's bullish. Okay, it's always bullish. All right, you get some. Do we have some bullish gap ups that aren't getting filled? Yes. Got a bullish gap up here, not getting filled. Bullish gap here, didn't get filled. Bullish gap here that didn't get filled. We're up over the all-time high anchored VWAP. That's the pink line. We're up over the uptrend line. And we were over the 200 SMA. That would be bullish. Still got a bullish gap here that hasn't been filled. That's bullish. Price action looking like it's attacking the 200 SMA. I think they may climb on top of that today. We'll see. All right, we'll see. There is a put squeeze on the table. We'll see if it plays out. All right. But here's FNGB kind of fading underneath the 200 SMA here. All right. Still bullish. Let's back out and look at this. Holding that higher ground. That's bullish. Okay, FNGB. Let's take a look at a few sectors. We run through this quickly. Okay, I'm just going to say bullish or bearish. I'll start with XLE. Okay, XLE is neutral, acting bullish. Okay, moving up, holding that higher ground, attacking this all-time high anchored VWAP. You can see price up over downtrend line 1, downtrend line 2, up in the bullish trap, that's bullish, over the 17, bullish, holding the higher ground, bullish, making higher lows and higher highs, bullish, still in neutral land, right through there, okay? XLE. USO. USO, quadrant 4, that's bullish. Over the trap is bullish, over the 17 is bullish, quadrant 4 is bullish, over this 3-year high anchored VWAP, that's a post-COVID high, that's bullish, quadrant 4 is bullish, higher lows, higher highs, that's bullish. Question is, can they hold the higher ground? All right? Need them to hold the higher ground. Okay, you can see here, this is what I'm talking about. You move up and they give it up. Okay, you see it? They move up and then they give it up. Okay, well, when they move down, they give it up. They move down, they give it up. Okay, so that just makes them neutral all through here. Now they're no longer neutral. They're up here in bullish territory. Can they hold the higher ground? There's USO. UNG. UNG in an uptrend finally made a higher high. Okay, over the over the 12-month high anchored VWAP, over the uptrend line, up here in neutral land, so just neutral on that, in neutral territory, acting bullish by making higher lows and higher highs, closing over a bullish trap over the 17, all that is bullish, okay, still in neutral land. Again, they got a habit of moving up and giving it up, all right, and they've spent some time down here in quadrant 1. Okay, we'll see. Is this a higher low, which may produce a higher high? We'll see. Okay, this is daily chart for UNG, just neutral through here. Okay, they get up over this, let's just say they get over 1950, they become very interesting over 1950. Okay, there's UNG, not there yet. Okay, again, show me you can hold the higher ground. I mean, we've only got 3 candles here with a lot of space in between them. Okay, so that's UNG. GLD, gold and silver, both in uptrends. Okay, gold consolidating in an inverse head and shoulders pattern up here in quadrant 4. Up over the all-time high anchored VWAP, bullish. Quadrant 4, bullish. Over the uptrend line, that's bullish. Holding the higher ground, bullish. Okay, over the 17 is bullish. Okay, multiple attacks on the highs. And I think that was a new all-time high. 317.60. No, they missed it by 3 pennies. That's right. Okay, gold is bullish. Silver's bullish. Silver made a new 12-year high. Okay, not Wednesday, but Tuesday. 12-year high. Okay, that's a 12-year high anchored VWAP. Up in quadrant 4 is bullish. Over the trap, closing in the trap or over the trap is bullish. Over the 17 is bullish. Quadrant 4 is bullish. Uptrend, higher lows, higher highs. That's an uptrend. That's always bullish. Again, over that 12-year high anchored VWAP, definitely bullish on silver. SMH. SMH quadrant 4, that's bullish over the all-time high anchored VWAP. XLK. XLK over the all-time high and in quadrant 4, that's bullish. Okay, XLK, bullish. XLF over the all-time high anchored VWAP, up in quadrant 4, still bullish. Okay, if they take out this low, that'll be a lower low. They're going to negate the uptrend. Okay? But if they hang out in the upper third, they're still going to be bullish up there. They may negate the uptrend, but hanging out in the upper third is still bullish. Okay, that's XLF. IYT, neutral, all right? Not in quadrant 4, all right? Not in quadrant 1. Okay? You can see they go up to the all-time high anchored VWAP and give it up. Been up there twice, gave it up. All right? Price action, just neutral through here, okay? Lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap is bearish. Under the 17 is bearish. Up over the midpoint is bullish, neutral right there. So not in the higher third, not in the lower third, so just neutral. IYT. Take a look at the economic package. Start off with the dollar. Dollar still in a downtrend, making lower highs. There's a lower high. There's a lower low. See, there's a low. They made a lower low. Higher, lower high, lower low, lower high. There's a high, lower low. Okay, they broke major support. So now that major support becomes minor resistance. And you can see we're in a bear flag consolidating under minor resistance. Price action closed yesterday right around the 98.76, 98.80 area, okay, for the U.S. dollar. U.S. dollar in a downtrend. Okay, so we like that. Anytime our goods and services are cheaper globally, all right, securities stand to profit from that, okay? That makes us more competitive. Now, as consumers, do we like a weak dollar? Heck no. Because what happens is our dollar doesn't go as far, okay? We like it when our dollar goes further, all right? So it's a double-edged sword. If you're an investor, you love it, all right? If you're a consumer, not so much, all right? So here's Max Payne for today, $5.99 for the options that expire today in SPY, $5.99. 2 3/4 puts, all right, for each call, okay? That's why I say there's a possible put squeeze on the table. I don't know how long it will last, but if they keep constant pressure up all day, okay, it could last till 2:30. If they have a pullback giving them an out, all right, that won't work, all right, on the economic calendar. So today, what do we got? Remember Thursday we were off. Today we got Philly Fed Manufacturing Index 830, leading indicators 10, a rig count at 1, and then that's it, all right? Earnings calendar, nothing really notable, all right? Accenture is notable. Yeah, Accenture's going to report this morning, $211 billion. All right, they report this morning. Other than that, just familiar names, but nothing that's going to move the markets right there. And that's it for me this morning, okay? I'll see you guys all at in about 35 minutes, and we'll open up the markets together, okay? Thank you, everybody. Thank you.